What is love? Baby, don't hurt me. Don't hurt me no more. And with that, another Kaupen daily yap over here where I talk for 10 minutes about random topics. And then after 10 minutes, I cut it off without any editing. Today, the point or the thing to talk about is love. And specifically, what I want to refer to is, well, the word love. And the reason is because apparently, and this is one thing I just dislike about the word love, is that it has to encompass every single type of love, and we all know that there are different types of love, even though we don't use it in like a linguistic sense. Another way that the linguistic thing is a bit of an issue is the fact that we don't have an exclusive and an inclusive we. I really like that. This is like a linguistic thing that's so important. So if you go up to someone and you say, we just won the lottery, there's two different meanings to it. It can either include we, as in the speaker and the listener, or just we, as in the speaker and the speaker's family, let's say, but excluding the listener. As soon as you point it out, you're like, yeah, that would be a really useful feature because it can disambiguate a couple of things. And you might say, well, most of the time, through context, you know what is meant. Sure, but still, coming from the German language, right? So I'm a native German speaker. I feel like there is a lot of granularity that can be gained, and sometimes that is good to disambiguate a couple of things. But going back to love. So love, as I've said, according to the ancient Greeks, in this case, there's different types of love. So I have this set up over here. So we have, first of all, eros, which is erotic love. I don't think I need to go into detail on that one. That's basically when you're horny, and that's a type of love. Would I call that love when you're horny? And it's like, maybe I could see that. So basically, when you're admiring someone hot, then that would be erotic love. I think that's okay. I think that we could I think that that's okay. I think that that's fine. Then we have philia, which is affectionate love, which I think that that's fair as well. So this is a sort of so another one here says that it is a feeling of a team or a group. I think that that's fair as well. So you basically have a sort of love of belonging, let's say. I think that's fair. So this would be when you're in, yeah, I think that that's fair, right? When you're in a team and you're rooting for each other to get a common goal. So this would probably be sort of a thing that happens in sports teams, right? But obviously it's a hard thing, especially I guess for the male population, then to be like, to say, oh, this is a type of love. Once again, because we use love for our partners and our families, and then sometimes we use it for our friends, and we use it for our kids, and we use it for our pets, and it's like it gets muddled because it's like, oh, what does he mean right now? And I think that that's very interesting because one time Dr. K talked about it, and he said that he said that he thought that a lot of issues in the male populace also come still from homophobic sort of tendencies, meaning that, if you go to your buddy and you're like, man, I love you, it's still sort of considered, it's like, oh, what are you, gay? Even though it's like, okay, I mean, even if, fair enough, but like, whatever. I find it interesting because I feel like that's a similar type of thing because we use the word love for all of these different things, so we can't differentiate. If I were to, if we had a name for it, then it would disambiguate that. And even if there was still an underlying homophobia, which I don't know if there is or isn't, but I don't want to debate that right now, but that would just be gone because it's a different meaning. Next type of love is storge. I don't know if that's how you pronounce it. That is familial love or relations of very close friends. Familial love, I think that's fair enough. We know it. I mean, if, a mother, father, brother, sister, and, aunt, something like that, cousins, that's familial love. I think that that's totally fair. And that is also a different type of love that you feel versus when you have, I mean, definitely eros, hopefully eros, okay? We're not, okay, well, listen, okay? We're not in Alabama over here. Sorry if you are from Alabama, but, you just gotta take it, okay? Then we got ludus, which is a playful love. That is play, fun, exciting love. Not 100% sure how I would understand that. It's like, so apparently here they say that it has like a touch of eros, but it apparently is different. So that they say that it's about like young lovers. Okay, fair enough. I think that that's interesting, fair. I would have probably thought about this differently, but okay. And then we got mania, which is obsessive love. I think we still have that. So we still have people who are called manic. And I think that could also be interesting. So that also then means love, like where it's, yeah, I think obsessive love, I think that that's fair enough and sort of understandable. We have another one, which is pragma, apparently, called or also enduring love. So this would probably be the thing that develops as if you have a long-term relationship with another human being or a very long-term friendship. That's sort of the thing that happens there. I don't necessarily know if you would need to split that up. I feel like because eros can also be, doesn't always have to be only erotic love, but can also encompass, let's say, a romantic love, right? So that would be the eros. I don't know if we need pragma necessarily as a category of this, but okay, fair enough. It's not the worst idea in the world. Then we have philautia, which is self-love, self-big ups, being kind to oneself. Yep, self-love. That's the definition over here. And that one is also quite important, also interesting. Although we do have the idea of self-love as a word. I think that that's fair. We also have sort of self-esteem, self-compassion. So those things all do play a part. Self-improvement, self-help, even though, you know, sometimes self-help is a little bit of a weird term, but you know what I mean. So there is a part of that as well, where you have that. I think that's interesting. I'm reading here right now. Aristotle described all friendly feelings for others are an extension of a man's feeling for himself. Absolutely true. The old adage, I mean, stays true again. If you can't love yourself, how can someone else love you? And I think that's just true, right? I mean, that is true. You at least have to have some sort of value. You have to see your value at least a little bit. Otherwise, it is going to be hard for others to see your value as well. And I think the love there comes definitely from that. There's a Buddha quote here as well. You yourself, as much as anybody in the entire universe, deserve your love and affection. There you go, right? Because you have to start with yourself and then go outwards from there. And finally, there is the 8th type of love according to the ancient Greeks, which is agape. And agape is the selfless love, basically meaning the love of humanity or contributing. And that one is the love that's self-sacrificing. That's the love that's like, I mean, basically the highest form of love that you can show to, I mean, yeah, humanity, right? Like the love that you can see where it's, so here it says free from desires and expectations. And that's interesting. So it basically is the unconditional love, form of love. That would be probably the one thing that is, I would say mostly, I don't want to say an illusion because that sounds a little bit too, that's a little bit too like pessimistic. But what I would say is that is a thing that is very rare in this world, I would say. And I think that those are the things that stories inspire us to be, right? When we have something like agape, that would be where, you know, Sam is carrying Frodo up Mount Doom, or things like that, right? Like love of humanity because you're contributing to it, because you're like, listen, there is good in this world if we fight for it. That's somewhat of this like agape love, and interesting. That's quite interesting. This unconditional love. I would also say probably like sometimes I guess mother to child would probably also be a form of agape, because that's just what it just has to be, I guess. Hopefully, at least. I know that obviously that's not always going to be the case, but yeah, that's one thing. It's interesting. So that's where I don't know what we are gonna do about it. That the fact that we only have one word for it, but I don't know. I maybe we need to think about this and like introduce a couple of more and different words for this, okay? So that we can sort of finally differentiate it as well. And maybe trying to differentiate different types of love in different words, maybe that is going to be useful. But that's going to be it for this daily yap over here. Hope you found